Live from downtown State College.
Welcome into the Landon Tangwell Live post-game call-in show. Oh, Penn State is not able to get it done. I thought we had the opportunity there. Oh, that hurts. I wanted that bad for all of them. Nick Singleton, Ethan Grunkmeyer was really close to a top 2 win for the first time in a long, long time. I do have to question that timeout at the end. Once you get a first down, the clock is stopped, because right there at the end, even with 5 seconds left, you can throw something quick, timeout, at least give Ryan Barker a chance at a 55-yarder or something like that. That's bad clock management there. Mistake for sure. One blade of grass there for Zakee Wheatley. Unfortunately, not able to carry his man out of bounds. Hell of a drive from Mendoza. You got to give them all the credit. That number 80, drawing a blank on his name, but my God, he showed up to play today with Elijah Surratt, Indiana's leading wide receiver, not playing. So that hurt. That would have done a lot for just kind of the morale of Penn State. That was unfortunate. Oh, man. Farzad, thank you for the donation. Love the fight. Fire Koloniki into the sun. No need to wait. Landon is the GOAT. Appreciate you, Farzad. Yeah, Mendoza's Heisman moment comes against us. That is for sure. I still think it's Julian Sand, but oh, man. I can't believe it. We had it. We had it there. We'll take callers. Let's just go to it. Let's get into this. What is up, my man?
What's up, Landon? How are you?
I'm all right. Could be better. How you doing?
Doing good. I just got to ask a question. You know, what do you think of running it 3 plays in a row with a chance to win the game? You're kind of killing them in the middle of the field in the passing game. Obviously, you got a young quarterback. Do you like the decision to try to end the game there on the ground, or do you like the decision to try to air it out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's easier to sit here and with hindsight and say we should have aired it out. I think we should have, especially when you're in that situation. They were playing 6 down linemen. You weren't going to get anything running up the middle. At least hit some runs to the outside, and you obviously want to be careful of not getting out of bounds. But I would have loved to see us try to go for that a little bit more. Unfortunately, that was the wrong decision. You just got to attack that there. It should have been an interception too when we tipped it up. Campbell had slipped, unfortunately. Could have ended it there. There were so many opportunities for this. So a really unfortunate loss. Love the way that the guys battled, though. Love the way they battled. We got a caller. My man, what is your question?
So, do you think, given how we played pretty well this week, do you think next week we're clearly the better team? Do you think we will use that as momentum? Like, we played good, we're going to come out and play the same way? Or do you think it's going to be the opposite? And, like, we played so good, but we came up short, like, we're not even going to try? Like, how do you think they're going to respond to this?
Yeah, it's hard to say if this can be the point where this can get you over the hump, or this just continues, even makes it worse almost. I think you found some things. I think Kotoniki at the end definitely found some things. We started to actually throw the ball down the field. It's amazing when you just try to stretch the field, as I've told you guys, how much more that opens up everything else, the rushing attack, just even being able to pass underneath. If you want to pass underneath, like Kotoniki does, as producer Jesse from the Josh Pate Show, he called it the horizontal passing attack, or air raid horizontal passing attack, which is what we do. You can do that, but you at least have to stretch them deep a little bit. And so we started to do that a little bit at the end, and that, as you saw, made it a lot easier for the offense to operate. I think also Jim Knowles' defense played a lot better today. Had a good scheme. Once again, it's hard to say. We kept getting pressure. I don't love on that third and goal where they scored there at the end for Indiana. I would have loved if we would have dropped on that one and dropped some guys out, because they were blocking 7. They only had 3 routes out there. So I wish we didn't do the same exact defense. It's fine to give the 7-up look or the 8-up look. I was cool with that, but I wish we would have just dropped out a little bit more. Obviously you hit Mendoza there. Mendoza made just some fantastic plays. You have to tip the cap to him. Really impressive what he did in this game, and that is why he is one of the 2 best quarterbacks probably in all of college football. But yeah, it was just an unfortunate management at the end. Just not great clock management. Some of the play calling wasn't the best, and there was opportunities there. But Penn State falls just short. We'll take caller. My man, what is your question?
Hey, Lynn, this is Dan from New Jersey.
What's up, Dan?
Just wanted to call in. I'm obviously disappointed with the loss, but I think we played tremendously better, and I think we made a lot of good strides. I just wanted to ask more on the defensive side of the ball because I feel like things were clicking. What you think was the big change? I know we talked about, how the defense was too complex. Like, do you think he, made it simpler today? And then also one last question, because I feel like Davius Collins had a tough day today, and not blaming anything on him, but when they line him up, do they line him up on one side of the ball, depending on like the short side of the field or the long side of the field? Because I feel like he was kind of getting targeted a little bit today.
I don't think he's necessarily just a boundary corner or a field corner, meaning that he's either one side or the other. He moves around a lot. I do think it was the game plan was clearly we're going to see the numbers at the end, but it was clear that they wanted to blitz Mendoza, and they did a great job at that. For the most part, took away that rushing attack there for Indiana as well. They especially in the second half, they didn't have a lot on the ground, only 3.5 yards per carry here at the end of the game. I'm sure that the second half yards per carry was really, really low for them. They really had nothing there. But yeah, they just made more plays. It feels like that is the reoccurring theme for Penn State in the big games, as the other team just makes a few more plays. And Mendoza just made a few plays. When Zane Durant got that sack on that last drive where we needed it, kind of felt like, there was the momentum, and then they go, an 18-yard gain to Cooper and pull all the momentum back and then make a couple more big-time plays. Obviously there, Becker, huge game from him, 7 receptions, 118 yards, and some big-time catches from him. Multiple third down catches that were big time. I think before what did they say? He had less than 10 catches in his career, I think.
Season at least.
Or season, this season. Oh, man. It's the same thing. We're still haunted by James Franklin. No, I'm just kidding. We'll take a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from? What's your question, my man?
Hey, it's Mike from Lebanon.
Mike.
Not a real question, but I just don't care what happens the rest of the season. I'm just more concerned about the next coach, and what's going to happen next season. I just don't care anymore. This season's cursed. I think the program may be cursed. I don't know, but that's just really all I got.
I think Mike just summed up the majority of Penn State fans and how they're feeling at the moment. I'll tell you what, it's not a great feeling. Like I said, that would have done so much for the morale of this Penn State team, and really just kind of helped us get over that hump as we get into, as you said, this coaching change that is coming. So that hurts. Now you go to Michigan State, Nebraska at home, and then at Rutgers. And it was not, like I said, this would have been really, really cool to get over the hump. This would have been a top 5 win at Beaver Stadium. We would have gotten to rush the field, all that. Yeah, guys, I don't really know what to say. That sucks. Unfortunately, I think Ethan Grunkmeyer missed that wheel route. Who was that? Was that Ross? Yeah, it was Ross at the end of the game.
Yeah.
He had him there. If he could have hit him, Ross could have kind of backed up out of bounds, and we would have been in great position there. There were just, once again, there were multiple plays that we didn't make that were there to make, and Indiana made the plays that was there for them to make. So that was the end result of that. We got a caller. What is your question, my man? Hello, what is your question?
This message.
Oh, got a voice.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, man, I just got to know, does this mean that the Big Ten is fraudulent, man?
I mean, Indiana definitely has some flaws. I think far and away this tells us Ohio State is the best team in all of college football. I think that's what this tells us for sure. And like watching the tape, we'll see what Penn State – it's hard to see on the TV copy what Penn State did on the back end of the defense, so I'm curious to see. But like I said, Knowles called a great game. There was just plays – that the Indiana playmakers made. There was obviously multiple pass interferences or holdings on these Penn State DBs. So that wasn't great, but the defense was put in position to win today. Let me put it that way. So once again, tip of the cap to Knowles for coming in with a great game plan. I just wish that we could have executed a little bit better on defense, and obviously offense. It took a while to get going. There was not a lot, and it took us a while to. I mean, you come out, and it felt like the game was already over, especially once Grunk threw that interception. But we came out and just threw the ball down the field. And it's amazing what will happen when you start to do that. Like I said, it just opens everything up. So if there's anything to take away from this game, Kotelnicki and this offense, I hope they move forward and saying, okay, we are going to attack down the field. Because it is there's no offense when you don't do that. DT, thank you so much for the donation. Please route this to Mari Campbell to buy longer spikes so he doesn't slip at the goal line on the tip. I know that would have been an interception there if he did not slip in the game. Would have been over. We got a caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What is your name? Where are you calling from? What's up, brother?
Hey.
How you doing?
My name's good. How's it going? My name's Josh. I'm calling from Arkansas.
Josh, what's your question?
I wanted to ask him about the usage of Kobe Howard and what he thinks about him getting in for 3 or 4 snaps a game.
Yeah, we saw a lot more Kobe Howard usage. We'll see. I'm sure someone already has a snap count, but it was definitely double digits. It was definitely double digits. Obviously, he had those 2 catches, and you saw we started to throw the ball down the field, and Kobe Howard was a part of that. And once again, I think you have to continue to do that. But I think, to me, he is one of the more talented wide receivers, even as a true freshman on this roster. So continue to get him involved for these last 3 games. Once again, it's hard because this coaching staff probably is not here, almost every single one of them, for the 2026 season. But you got to find a way to keep Kobe Howard. That's a really talented wide receiver from a skill standpoint. I think he is the most talented on this roster. What else do I have? Yeah, early on, I mean, first half, we just could have been in this game so much better. 1.5 yards per carry in the first half. That can't happen. But you come out in the second half, it was like a fire was lit under the offensive line and tight ends, and they started blocking really, really well. There was a lot there. They started moving the Indiana front 7 off of the football, and that's why you saw Penn State be able to mount a comeback, just could not finish it off. We'll take caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Mike. I'm from State College.
Mike, how you doing, brother?
I'm not bad. I just want to say that this fucking team is really disappointing today. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit, and I really hope that they fucking change their shit next season, or I might be leaving just everything in general. So I just wanted to put my opinion out there as a frustrated fan of Penn State.
Yeah, there you go. I think a lot of people feel your pain out there, man. They feel your pain. Good news is, responsibly, you can go get yourself a bottle of Whiteout Tequila at whiteouttequila.com. Support Michael Motti, Christian Hackenberg. This is their tequila. So they're doing a great job, very reasonable priced. And producer John and I have been drinking some today. We had to get through this one. So,
it was a crutch.
It was a crutch. You could put it that way. Sarah, how you doing over there?
Meh.
Yeah, that was disappointing. That was the first time I felt, probably since, the Oregon overtime, that was the first time I've been excited watching Penn State football. I feel like it was fun to feel that again.
Why didn't we try to get in field goal range at the end?
Well, we clearly tried. It was quite the blunder there. I'll tell you what. Like I said,
but
Gronk,
it wasn't. I mean,
the timeout was. I can't believe the timeout there.
Why would you take
that?
The
Was
timeout
that was bad. You spike it there at minimum. You're not going to take any time off the clock with a spike. You'll take 1 second. It would have went from 20 seconds down to 19 seconds. The timeout there was a big mistake because it changed how you operate at the end. Even with 5 or 6 seconds left on the last play, you can throw something quick over the middle timeout and go from there if you want to try a long field goal or if you want to get in more manageable Hail Mary position. But that was a big mistake. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Going on, Landon? It's Derek from Chicago. How we doing?
Not so good, brother. What's your question?
No, I'm right there with you, man. I don't know if it's necessarily a question, or maybe it is, but I get, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun, right? You're supposed to celebrate the small victories, but I just can't help but, sigh and just scratch my head when I see guys during those 2 minutes. I love Zane Durant. He's been a great player. But when I see him dancing, and when Indiana's trying to, run their, basically 2-minute drill, they have no timeouts, they're going no huddle, and I see him dancing, I just can't help but scratch my head going, what is he doing? Because then you watch them, they're all scrambling to get set on defense, and then they blow it. And I get it. It's supposed to be fun. He had a great sack, and he wanted to celebrate, but it's frustrating. I just want to hear your take on, the no-fly zones. I see guys, luckily they get passes that are open. He flies. It's
Yeah, I get. Sorry, you're cutting out there, but I get your question. Yeah, I mean, there's especially for a team that has not had a lot of energy. I do appreciate that from Zane Duran and company. And as DBs, it started with Joey Porter Jr. Little clamp celebration. Not very clamps these past couple weeks, but I'm always here for it. But yeah, and in situations like that, you got to get back on the ball. And there was a couple times there were celebrations, and obviously play actually ended up resulting in a good play for Indiana. So I understand those frustrations. I saw our friend of the show, Kevin Horn, was voicing his displeasure with that as well. Thank you for so much for the donation. He says, even with no expectations, this team never fails to disappoint. Please launch Knowles into the sun alongside AK. Appreciate you, brother. We'll take caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Landon. This is Reggie from OKC. 2 questions. Why did it take until second half of game 9 to realize, when everyone in the media and everybody is saying throw the ball downfield, throw it more than 2 to 3, 5 yards? And then secondly, just like when you have the game, you have the ball and you have the lead, why are we just not trying to go for the jugular and playing not to lose? I know James did that all the time, but I mean, like, this is your chance to take the game and win it. And we just refused to do it. We punted. I get it. But you're playing not to lose. You have nothing to lose at this point. The season's over. You have nothing to lose. Go for it. Just get the first down and put the game away.
Yeah, that the 3 run, they were basically all runs up the middle. I would have loved to see some creativity. Once again, you had 5, I think they had 5, maybe even 6 down linemen there. There was nothing that was going to be done up the middle as far as unless you break 2 to 3 tackles, it wasn't going to happen. So I think you just have to pass the ball there. It was about getting that first down. If you got to that first down, it was over. So if you get to that first down and you pass the ball twice to do it, it wasn't like it. I never thought that time was going to be that big of a factor. If you're giving the Indiana the ball back with 2 minutes left, I don't really care if they have timeouts or not. Time was never going to be a factor on that drive anyways. So I would have loved to see just more aggressiveness. But I think that's what I want in our next coach. I want our next coach that's going to do that. That's going to be aggressive there. I want our next coach that's going to go for 2 in situations where maybe technically you shouldn't, or James Franklin situations that he hasn't in the past. But go for it. Be aggressive. Take those opportunities. That's how you win against a number 2 team. Earl, thank you for the donation. Signetti in tears in the post-game interview. What the F is the deal with the coaches having career-defining wins against us, even at 3-6? Yes, we are cursed with opposing coaches crying on our field after huge wins. That's where we're at. It's unfortunate. Rob, thank you for the donation. This team could have called it. Year gave up on Northwestern, but they have played hard, didn't give up. Sad to lose, but a proud Penn State fan. Yes, brother. Amen on that one. Definitely proud of the way this team fought. That is for certain. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Brian. I'm from New Jersey. How you doing, Landon?
I'm all right, Brian. I'm all right. What's your question, my man?
Okay, I got a comment and a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it, brother.
All right, great. Hey, I was, heartbroken like everybody else in Nittany Nation on this, but I was okay with the passing game today. I don't know what you've said so far, but you know what? They went vertical a couple times, and it's a lot better than this horizontal that we all know. And it seems like every team in the Big Ten knows this horizontal passing game we have, and we're always being dropped for tackle for loss. That's my comment. My question though deals with NIL, and you've spoken before about a lot of people in July getting their upfront money, but can NIL deals be based on performance? Hey, if you go to the college playoff, you'll get an extra $100K, or how come there's no incentive? You make All-American, you'll get X dollars. It seems like here's a flat fee, here's $3 million to play, and yet, there's no performance bonus.
Yeah, so there are rules against that as much as it is pay for play at this point. You technically cannot do that. That could not be outlined in a contract because that would be illegal, even though everything is there's nothing that's actually illegal nowadays. But that is the reason why it is that way, and you can't do that, and you can't force guys to play in bowl games to get their money because there can be no pay for play. So as far as NIL, that is the reason for it. But yeah, like I said, still proud the way that this team fought under Terry Smith. I really would have loved to get that done. Damn it. That sucks. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Matt, calling from Colorado.
What's up, Matt? What's your question?
Hey, so I trying to focus on the positives here. Alex Tash got a bit more playing time today. What do you think that he brings to the defense that maybe we don't see from DeLuca or some of the other linebackers?
Yeah, I mean, he's got more acceleration. It seems like he's a little bit quicker. I think he's getting used to it because he's a true freshman. But it's clear that we have confidence in him out of any other young linebacker that's out there. I had that pass breakup on third down at the end there before that last drive where we had to punt it away. So I was proud of the way that he's playing football. He plays fast. He plays physical. I think you're going to see a lot more snaps for him these last 3 games for Penn State. So really good day from him getting in there. We'll see how many snaps he had total. If you follow me on Twitter at Landon Tangwell, I'll post a bunch of him, Kobe Howard, all that stuff of how many snaps they got. But it was a good day for him in his progression in his career. Shout out to Nick Singleton, too. Really happy for him to see him finally get some success. I know it's been a really tough season for him, one of the greatest guys I've ever met. Thought that Katron Allen obviously needed to get the load this entire season, but it doesn't mean that we definitely got to be happy for him because he deserves that. Noah, thank you for the donation. After today, I am fully convinced this school is cursed. The blade of grass versus Oregon, the most physics-defying catch I've ever seen, 1 through 12 in ranked Big Noon games. Believe it, we are cursed. Yeah, it's not great, man. It's definitely not great. It feels that way. It sure does, doesn't it? All of these matchups where it's just decided by one play or someone needs to make one play, it always feels like the opposing team are the guys to make that play. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
John from Allentown.
John, my man, what's your question?
Not a question, more of a comment. I think the real blame that we can put on this season more than anyone else might be the Penn State grounds crew. Cut the grass too long against Oregon, cut it too short today with that toe touch of a touchdown right at the end. Just can't catch a break.
Yeah, brother. We got the best grounds crew in America. That's what they say. No, it's tough loss, man. Like, it truly is. The 2 biggest games. I mean, Ohio State was obviously a big game, but that was never too close outside of the end of halftime. 2 games decided by just a blade of grass, and there was opportunities there. Obviously, like I said, the tip ball, Amari Campbell slipped, wasn't able to get to the interception. We'll look at all the tape. We'll dive into it. I don't know. I mean, you were able to continue to get pressure, so I like that with Jim Knowles. Stick with what works, I think, was kind of his mindset on that final goal line play there from Indiana. But I don't know. I would have liked to mix it up a little bit. Once again, hindsight is obviously 2020 there, and Zaki, if he's able to just carry his guy out of bounds a little bit longer. I mean, it was a great effort, but just was not able to get it done. But I think the biggest thing there that we're learning from this team is you have to take risk to win these big time games, to win top 10, top 5, top 3 games. You have to take risk, and we have not been the type of team that is willing to take a risk. It's always conservative, and I think we need to change that around. The next coach needs to come in with a killer mindset. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Landon, Mark from State College.
What's up, Mark? What's your question?
Hey, Landon, I have more of a statement than a question, but love the show, man. Keep it up.
Thank you.
The game like this, I think the most frustrating part for the fans is the players deserve to win, but the coaches do not. And we see it in these key moments of the game where they call these plays like at the end of the game when they could have run the clock out. The 2 runs up the middle. It's like, what are we doing here? All we have to do is run out the clock. And again, it's the same song and dance. Bad play calls, in my opinion. So, do you think they should fire Kotelnicki, Landon? Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. I think they should? Probably. It was nice that we finally figured out the forward pass was legal in the second half. that was cool, and I do appreciate them not shying away from it after Ethan Grunkmeyer's interception and saying, hey, we still have to continue to do this to even have an opportunity, and that was why we were able to win. But it still has not been good enough, and the play calling just has not been even close to where it needs to be. Take caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Aaron Zimmerman. I'm from Dover.
My man, what is your question?
Hey, Landon. First off, that guy you were just talking to actually does a podcast. His name's Mark Lesko. Secondly, I wanted to know if you saw like the kind of game that I saw from the guys. I thought that I saw the most fight from them I've seen in years. Because a lot of times, like when I looked at the Ohio State games or the Michigan games, it always felt like we were in it because they were making mistakes, not because we were really as good as them. And I got the impression that today we fought and Indiana needed everything they could possibly pull out of their bag to survive. So that's my question.
Yeah, no, they did. I mean, like I said, that's why I'm proud of these guys. They did a fantastic job giving it every single thing that they possibly had. And yeah, and someone just said, so I mean, yeah, they weren't put in great positions to win throughout the entire game, but there also was plays that were there to be executed and they weren't. So, you know, especially my mind keeps going back to that. I think it was some type of wheel, but it was that pass to Ross at the end that Grunt kind of floated, and it was, I want to say it was wide open, but if he could put it more as kind of like a back shoulder throw, he would have been able to catch it, go out of bounds, and I think we would have been on about their 40-yard line, around there with about 15 seconds left. So at points they were there, but I think it has to go on everybody on this one. I don't think we can just point at the coaches on this or just the players. It was all around a lack of scheme at times, and then there was the lack of execution as well. But I do think there was a bit of a formula to show how to take down this Indiana offense and got a ton of pressure. Oregon wasn't able to get anything close to that amount of pressure on Indiana. So that was a fantastic job. My guess will be over probably 15 pressures. If I had to guess, we just couldn't finish off a lot of them. There was multiple times. I mean, even think to the last play, think to multiple of those third down plays. There's so many times where we're hitting Mendoza as he throws, and he's still able to find a way to complete the ball. Noah, thank you for the donation. He says, during our coaching search, I think the only question we should ask is if they can perform exorcisms of demons. Who do you think would fit the job? I don't know, man. This is so wide open right now. This coaching carousel of who like Penn State doesn't have a number one guy at the moment. It is so wide open. We don't know who it's going to be. I think you kind of got to watch these last 2 weeks, and I think going into the Rutgers week, Pat Kraft has to have a very good idea of who it's actually going to be. But yeah, it's got to be, like I said, it's got to be a goddamn ball coach that wants to just go after it, go for the jugular, and that's what you're seeing in Day and Lanning and Signetti. All these guys, they are straight up killers. Mike, thank you for the donation. He says, at this point, PSU is what it is, but Fox has to get rid of these clowns calling their biggest game of the week. I will say, I loved him for a while. Gus is losing a little bit of pep in his step, and he messes up a lot of names. It's rough. I think I forget what he was calling Rapelier.
Rapelier.
Oh, yeah, Rapelier. He also looked like Gomez Adams today.
What was he wearing? I didn't even notice.
He had on like a zoot suit, and he had the pencil thin mustache.
That's Gus
But
Johnson
it was like
right
kind of,
Yeah.
was getting a little spotchy. It needed to be filled out.
Oh, well, there we go. We'll have you start to. We're going to do like game day fits where guys are walking in. We'll have you review them, Sarah. We got to call her.
Oh, good.
What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Landon, how are you this evening?
Doing well, man. What's your question?
Good. This was Noah calling from State College. At the tailgate loss right now, I've never seen a team or a program for 10 years be a perpetual big loser in a big game. What did Franklin instill in this program? Because whatever it was, it needs to be burnt to the ground and restarted with all of his mentality. Do the opposite of whatever that guy preaches. He instilled this in this team, and I'm just, wow. It is beyond me how they can't close out a big game.
Yeah,
I wouldn't keep one coach except for Terry Smith. I'd get rid of everyone.
I think the common theme, if I had to pick one, is just being conservative. I think everything is let's be as safe as possible. There's no risk taking, and I think that's something that can definitely trickle down / kind of continue on into a team, even if with Franklin gone. It's just we're still so conservative, and we're so afraid almost to just take a risk. And that's what you're seeing from these other teams. Like I said, the Lannings, the Days, the Signettis of these head coaches, and they're just, let's go for it. Let's just go for it. And so that's, once again, what we need to get. We need to get a head coach that is not afraid in the big moments to just go for it and make that call, not second-guess himself, and not, when you get the ball back and you have a chance to finish off the game, let's not go 3 runs up the middle. Let's go ahead and let's diversify a little bit, and let's throw the ball, and let's take risk and try to finish off the game.
Did you ever feel like that when you were on the team, when you'd look at the playbook, or would you ever stop and think God, this is really conservative. Why aren't we?
I mean, not necessarily the playbook, but yeah, it's more just the play calling of when. Yeah, I think it has always felt that way. I think anybody that's watched Penn State for a while can think about how it's always felt pretty conservative under James Franklin. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey there, Landon. It's Mark from Lisbon, Portugal. Big Penn State fan alum. Tell me, I thought I saw one time where we had Nick and K-Tron in the backfield. What do you think about that? I think I saw it one time.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we've been running for. We've done a lot of 2-back sets even this year. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's a formation that's cool, especially if you get Nick Singleton going and he can be a part of the passing game, which is what I think we saw today more and more of. I'm completely fine with that, so I don't have a problem with that formation.
Somebody wrote, sell the team.
Sell the team. Yeah, I don't know.
Feel that.
We could sell it to private equity. I know they want it. So, but yeah, so Julius Caesar said Joe invented conservatism. We have been conservative for a while here at Penn State. So that's my number one thing. That's my number one quality if I'm Pat Kraft, when I'm going into these interviews with these head coaches. I want to say, do you like to take risks? Do you like to take chances? I want to say, you want to go, let's go to is the casino open here now in State College over at the mall?
No, not yet.
Well, Pat Kraft, he needs to tell them, open it up, and I want to take every candidate there.
What is the riskiest thing you can do
at
State College? Where's the risky, where do the risky people go?
I don't know. Where is
Zeno's, that's where they go.
Zeno's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that you don't see in public.
There you go.
They go to Beaver Stadium on Saturday.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, unfortunately, that you could say a million different things. That K-Tron Allen fumble at the end of halftime.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
That hurts. That's much more of a game there if that does not happen. I'll tell you what. Mike says got to keep Dan Connor. Yeah, I think the 3 I want to keep: Dan Connor, Terry Smith, Ty Howe. I think those are the 3 main guys. We got a caller. What is your? Oh,
just lost him.
We lost him. There we go. What's interesting? I always have people say they're backed up. And there's, they can't get through.
Comes in batches.
It's too popular. It's too much.
If I guess I'll take the chance to say, if you're on hold, stay on hold. If it's ringing, that means as soon as Landon finishes his thought, we will pick it up.
Thanks, producer John.
If you hear ringing, you're almost there.
You're close. You're getting close. Man. Oh, we were close, guys. It was super close. That was the most excitement I felt in probably 5 weeks now of being a Penn State fanatic.
Did briefly feel like Penn State again.
When it was 24 to 20, I was like, and Zane got that sack. I was alive. I was jumping around. I was in the air.
You were straddling a chair.
I was jumping up. Yeah, that may have happened as well. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from? What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Oop, lost him.
He got a little nervous. He didn't.
I think it's cool that a lot of people are calling from the stadium or driving home.
That's cool. Wait, was that Portugal?
Lisbon, Portugal.
And Portugal. Well, Lisbon, isn't that where your grandfather did his PhD?
Yes. Yeah, my dad lived there for a little bit growing up. Yeah, that's cool. I think that's our first international call for the live.
No, you had a London guy.
Oh, we had a London. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool though. Portugal's a little different. London, big time. Terry Smith is, I think, just doing his.
Hey, what happened with
right
what would you say made our defense play better? Would you agree they played better?
Yeah, I think they played a lot better.
What happened
I don't
there?
know. It didn't seem like there was a lot of thinking going on. Knowles said, "Hey, we're just going to send blitzes. We're going to get in Mendoza's head." Mendoza still played a fantastic game, and there was times where he just escaped. But Mendoza's ability to make throws,
good,
with pressure in his face. If I'm an NFL team, I'm taking.
He looked
him
like
first.
Tom Brady in his prime in those 2-minute drills.
Oh,
That's
so
what
good.
it reminded me of.
That was like his fourth. What? That was like his.
It was his fourth game-winning drive in a fourth quarter.
I'm tired,
As
man.
just
We got to get a guy.
animal.
We got to get a guy like that. We got to get a quarterback like that. Seth, thank you for the donation. He said, "Love you guys. Fun game, but frustrating in the end." It absolutely was. That is kind of the definition of a lot of these big-time Penn State games over the past 10 years. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Game winning.
Hello?
Hello. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi. This is Joel. I'm calling from Illinois.
Joel, what's your question,
Actually,
my man?
Penn State. I got two, actually. All right. You just mentioned that you want a coach that plays aggressively. But my question is, do you think we have the talent? Or do we have like a superstar player that you can ask, hey, here's the game. I'm putting it in your hands. Go win the game for us. Number two, do you think this game actually helped our head coaching recruiting chances? Do you think this game, how we played, would catch the eye of a big time coach and want to make him want to come and coach this team?
Yeah, so I mean, first off, on this offense right now, probably not. To your question of do we have a big time playmaker? Do we have a Tyler Warren, a Jahan Dotson? No, we don't. But I still think there were plays there to make. Once again, I come back to that Ross kind of wheel route play where it was open at the end and the ball got floated by Grunk. As far as the next head coach, I don't think this game matters with this outcome. I think if you win, it definitely changes everything. But with a loss close like this, people kind of forget this in a week. I mean, there might be people that say, oh, Indiana was that close to losing to Penn State. But in the end, it went in the L category for Penn State and it went in the W category for Indiana, and they move on. So I think that's I don't think it has too much of an effect on whatever head coach is looking to come here next. But a win would have definitely helped very, very much. So, yeah, but no, I mean, no one on this roster really, I'm going to say no one. There'll still be, I think, I would guess 35, 40 players around there will probably return, but I don't think it'll be anybody, too insane. You're going to have to get a lot of talent out of the transfer portal. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from? What is your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Martin, and I'm calling from Wyalusing, Pennsylvania.
My guy Martin, what's your question?
I don't know if I really have a question. I'm an old man. I'm 50. I've been a fan for over 40 years now, so I'm just bringing some old man perspective here. And I just want to say I've been through a lot of tough losses. This is absolutely one of the worst, if not the worst, just with how the whole season has gone and the circumstances and how it ended and how it played out. So don't really have a question, just bringing some misery.
Yeah, I think we all
I'm a wise old man, and I just want you young guys to know with my experience, this is horrible.
It does feel that way, doesn't it? It really does. Yeah, I'm sick, man. I'm sick that we couldn't finish that one off. Got to find a way to win these games, these tight ones where Penn State just gets to the very end and you're just so close. Got to get over the hump and find a way to start to win these, because that's the hardest part right now about being a Penn State fan is 9 years in a row of just constantly being that close. And so many of these big games, it's just one play.
Teased.
And we can't. Yeah, we're getting
tortured.
Teased. We're getting teased. We're getting tortured. We're getting played with right now. Penn State is going to be heading to Michigan State still without a Power 4 win, so heading there hopefully to finally get Penn State's first conference win of the Big Ten season. But, yeah, there needs to be a reset of this coaching staff, and that is definitely going to happen. We will take a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is James down in Georgia. Long-time listener, doing good work, man. You're probably one of my better folks right now.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Basically, I was calling because a lot of people have already covered it, but we are definitely the kings of conservative. When we gave up that last drive and we ended up punting the ball, we're probably going to lose this game. They're going to go down and they're going to score and win. Because it's been typical. The last couple of years, that's kind of been our thing. So I definitely do agree with you. We need to break a ball coach in, somebody that's a little more aggressive, and that's going to go for the jugular when we need them to.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. Like I said, take them to the casino, and I want Pat Kraft to give each head coach he's interviewing $500, and whichever guy puts $500 on red or black, whatever your taking is. What is that, baccarat? What is that? No.
roulette.
Roulette. There we go. As you can
They
tell,
just
I
have to
don't
hope that Kraft doesn't watch them like as they're rolling.
stand over top of them.
Yeah, and get in the mix.
Yeah, but I want someone that's putting 500 on red or black and saying, let's go. And that's my signal. That's our guy right there. Yeah, we got to get someone that's going, that just goes for it. So we got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, this is Noah down in Fort Myers, Florida.
Noah, what is your question, my man?
So it's kind of about the end of the game situation. There's kind of two parts to the question. So, like, the first part is I thought that Ethan, as the game went on, started playing really well and was getting hot. So why would you not kind of give him the ball in that second to last drive and just kind of throw for the first down there? And then the second question is, at the end of the game, the timeout on that first down and goal for Indiana, it felt like it was a very poorly used timeout because then it kind of left us with only one left.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think Terry Smith had to call that there because it seemed like Indiana did not substitute. So if the offense substitute, the defense gets an opportunity to also substitute. And that's why you see the ref come over the ball, go like this, and he's stopping the offense from snapping it. Well, we tried to substitute, and Indiana had not substituted. And so we were going to get an offsides penalty / too many men on the field, all of it, and they probably would have scored a touchdown too. So he had to call that timeout there. I don't think it was a great management of the timeouts, and that was a bit of a mishap on the defense and Jim Knowles for sure. But I think the way bigger mismanagement of the timeout was the one at the end where we have a first down, the clock is stopped, and you still call a timeout there. That didn't make any sense. You still have that timeout at the end with 5 seconds left. You can do a lot of different things that give you a better opportunity to win. John, I think we missed there we go. Jeff, thank you for the donation, my man. He said, Landon, we have forgotten how to win. IU made plays, but not prepared to spike the ball instead of calling a timeout. Isn't it Kotelnicki's job to call a play to Grunt and tell him we spike the ball if it's a first down? Yeah, I mean, Terry Smith is the one that calls the timeout, though. So that was on him. But, yeah, there's no world where you get a first down in that situation and you do not get up and spike the ball. That needs to be that should just be known. That should have been communicated to him before the play, before the drive. If we get a first down, get up, spike the ball. That's what it is, without a doubt. So, yeah, the game management situations is something that continues to plague Penn State. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from? What is your name? Where are you calling from?
This message has been transcribed.
We got a transcribed message. Well, we'll take this time. One more time, guys. Whiteout Tequila, whiteouttequila.com. If you want to order yours, we ship to pretty much every state. And it's
in the state stores.
It is in the state stores here. So make sure you guys go check them out. Once again, Michael Motti and Christian Hackenberg. This is their tequila. Got the helmet stripe on it up to the top. It's probably one of the cooler liquor bottles, that I've ever seen. It has the coordinates to Beaver Stadium, which I know a lot of people are leaving or don't really have great memories there at this very second. But hey, it's great. Support the guys that made this program continue on for us to even be here today. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
David, Pittsburgh.
David, what is your question, my man?
Landon, I really like the show. Thanks so much. But I'm 78. I lived in State College for 41 years.
Wow.
And I don't know what those 24-year-olds calling or those 51-year-olds calling are doing, but I'll be back at the next game and next year.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much. Roll on, man.
I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Go State. That is very, very important. Continue to support this team. Like I said, we're going to have to hatch down, and we're going to have to manage and weather this storm, but we're going to do it because, once again, we are Penn State. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Jason.
Jason, what's your question, my man?
Hey, man, I just what frustrates me is we make that big stack on that drive, and I think it was Durant. He's dancing there. You just got to get back and play defense. They come up and make like a huge play on third down, and we're scrambling to get back on D. They get up to the line and make the play. I mean, did you find that? Did you see the same thing?
Yeah, it was definitely excessive. I think the next play was I think it was second. Then it was 2nd and 18 or 2nd and 16, and then they got 18 yards for the first down to Cooper. Yes, You in those situations, you can do a quick scream, quick celebration with the teammates, but there doesn't need to be any celebration where you're looking at the student section and dancing with them and things like that. That is, get back on the ball and let's go play some more football and finish this game off. So I do understand the frustration. We had someone earlier call in about that. So yeah, I do think that's something that can be addressed at times. I think it was a touchdown earlier on as well, where Zane Durant was celebrating. There was maybe a first down that they converted. So yeah, there probably should be a slight conversation about that. Although I do appreciate the enthusiasm that Zane Durant has brought, even in some of these worst games. He is always trying to celebrate and hype up the team a little bit. But yeah, so you got to know the situation. Terry Smith, someone said, Ant said, Terry Smith is 2-1 versus the spread. Good point. There we go. It was a lot closer. I'll admit, I thought this was going to be a blowout, but Jim Knowles came with a good game plan, and this offense came to play in the second half. We started to let Ethan Grunkmeyer rip it, and the offensive line and tight end, once again, I want to give them a shout-out. In the second half, they came to play. They were blocking their butts off. They were caving in the line of scrimmage multiple times, and it made it easy for Nick Singleton and Keyshawn Allen to get going. And once again, thanks to that referee that threw a nice little block on Nick Singleton's big-time run. So really helped us out there. But yeah, once again, Indiana made more plays. Mendoza, there is a reason he is one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football, is he had himself one heck of a day, even under a whole lot of pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Keith Goon Conlon and I will be at the student bookstore tomorrow morning. Stop on by. My T-shirts, no paywall, just Tangwall, are available at the student bookstore and also online. So stop on by if you're going to be in town. See us. But we will be live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., and then I will have the post-game show out for you guys. So I'm going to go home, watch all of the tape. We're going to watch a little bit of this Oregon-Iowa, which, by the way, is it 2-0? How did they get a safety? Interesting. Excited to see that.
It's an Iowa game.
Iowa games are always Iowa. I got to see. It doesn't even have to be that Iowa got the safety. I want to see how many safeties have happened in Iowa games in the past 20 years. They have to be up there for the most. I don't know why that always happens, but it just continues to happen. But yeah, before we get out of here, credit to all the guys. They played their butts off. It was not just on one person. It wasn't just on the coaches, on the players. It was a lack of execution as a whole from everybody, and you just could not get it done. We were incredibly close. Hurts, but we're going to continue on, trek on. We got 3 games left, and hopefully a head coach is going to be named within the next 3 weeks. So we will continue to monitor that. We will have a Bob Chesney full-on profile. And also, we're going to have Tyler Donahue on another car ride this week to be talking about this coaching carousel and what name is heating up, even though, like I said, from my understanding, this thing is wide open. So could be anybody at this moment for who's going to be Penn State's next head coach. Appreciate you guys spending this post game with me. It means a lot. You guys are truly the best fans in the entire world. I can't say how blessed and thankful I am that I get to do this as my job. You guys supporting me means so much. So thank you from me once again. Go State. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.